And next speaker is Mikael Hansson from Intelligent Bridge, and he has helped us in this project with the automation perspective on things. And him and his colleague Johan, they're also located over here if you want to talk to them later on. They've designed a digital twin, amongst other things, of this system, since we can't really take it down and show it anywhere else. So welcome, Mikael.
Thank you, Ellen. So, normally we work in traditional automation business for car manufacturers, energy sectors, food and beverage, and so on. And in this project, we've been acting as an advisor, as well as done some of technical solution. So in 10 minutes only, I will describe briefly what we have done. Starting with the inspection. So, normally when you handle fabrics or garments, you get them like this. Not even this good. It comes like this. Sometimes inside out. Yeah, as you understand, very difficult to do proper inspections to find the defects. And even if you have them on a hanger like this, you get some wrinkles, you get blind spots, there's no volume in the body, can't see the armpit, etc. So we needed to create something that we can inspect better. We tried a very quick solution to do use compressed air, but we get a glue effect, more like standing in the shower to get the curtain on. These two attached to each other. We tried to do a mechanical folding way, but due to the time constraints and the complexity, it became too costly, and we needed like thousands of those hangers. So instead, we turned to 3D printing technology. Thinking about the design, came up with something like this. You see it on screen? Yeah, good. Once we found a proper design for it, we scaled it up. And it was 3D printing is very good because we could ship this forth and back very easily to the science park and see how the design should end, which became this. So we printed this, and that later became the model for all of this to duplicate. So doing prototyping, I really recommend 3D printing because it's cheap and it's very quick. And as a continuation of this project, if we can be a part of that, we would like to design a smaller body like this, but just with an opening. And then we will have a mechanical torso instead. This is just a model, but that will be mechanical. Fully automated, of course. Automatic adjusted to any sizes, fit to a top or a jacket or whatever. And then we will, with robotics, we will insert this torso and expand the body to make an even better inspection. That was challenge number 1. Next thing we got on the table was how can we show this machine 2,000 kilometers south of Bros, down in Italy, in a small booth with actually just to fit a TV screen. So we start to work with tools to make a virtual machine, and in industrial automation business we call this a digital twin. This video here shows how you work with the tool. Very quickly you can build your machine, your warehouse, whatever. And later on you can simulate it and fast forward it. So just in a few seconds we can make 1 year's production. We can see all the hinders, what run into each other. We could add resources, robots, humans, etc. And it's very good to use it for a discussion base. So if you're going to show you something in a boardroom and you're going to explain we want to make this and it doesn't exist, make a virtual world out of it. And this is what we do with this machine as well as with others. This became a video that actually was rolling in the beginning of today. And together with the media team here, it was combined with live footage of the machine. So with the things not ready-made yet, we combined it with virtual, so you can get a good understanding of what we were trying to accomplish, even if it didn't exist yet. So this was a tool made for traditional automation. Of course, there was no overhead conveyor, there were no sewing machines, and there was no garments. But my colleague Johan made a fantastic job to create all those items so we could show it to the fair. And I would say we get quite a good attention on the fair for this. Last thing I'm going to talk about is how we can continue with this, because this is a micro factory, and I know some of you in the audience, you are from large companies. You need to scale this up. And we believe that handling the material is an issue that needs to be addressed, because if we're going to move any type of production to Europe or north of Europe, we need to make cost savings and so forth. So I will show you a short glimpse of what we can use, or we actually use out in the traditional automation today. This is AGVs or AMRs, depending on what acronym you use. They are self-navigating, they are fully safe, they stop as soon as there is a human in the way. As we speak, we are at Intelligent Bridge, we are doing an implementation at the hospital in south of Sweden, where these run around with patients and doctors going in elevators and so on. You can equip them with any kind of carriers, just packages, putting robots on top of robots and so forth, all kind of sizes. What is really cool with this is that you can program them in a virtual world before you deploy them. So you see what capacity you will have, if they will run into each other, or you need to change the layout or whatever. This is a movie actually from Amazon's latest warehouse, where they do this type when they roll out the automation in it. So this is actually a virtual world we see here. Another thing that is growing with automation is this magnetic tiles. So they are levitating on top of a table. You can move them in any direction you like. You can tilt them, you can spin them. And since they are like a half a centimeter on top of the table, you can put a fabric in between, and you can use the tile to hold the fabric. So now it starts to get interesting, because you can twist your mind. Normally, when you have a production, you have a fixed station where the operator is using a tool and you move the garment. Now, you hold the fabric and instead you move the tools around it. So you can produce in a totally different way. Humanoids, of course, we need to talk about them. It's no longer the future. Some of you have heard about the dog Spot, Atlas, the acrobatic robot, and so on. What is interesting with these ones is they are much more affordable. So for around 1 to 2 million SEK, you get a unit like this. And they are fully collaborative with humans. The difference is that they work 24/7, not 25% of the time as we in this room normally works. Worth knowing is that it's estimated that in only 10 to 20 years, we will have one of these in our homes. So you better get used to it. As you play around with your smartphone, you will play around with these guys soon. The last one I'm going to show, this is also where the magic happens. This is when we combine robotics, sensors, camera technology, and AI. Then we can basically build whatever machine we like. This we see here is from a startup that is focusing on the laundry industry, where you today, almost everywhere, do this by hand. Think of this, a monotone job all day long, But now with this technology, combining robotics with automation, we can use the machines to do it instead. So this is the way we work. We cherry pick the best components of hardware and software, and we then create a best of breed solution. We find it's the quickest and also most cost-effective way to do innovation. Me and Johan, we will have our table over there, so please come and talk to us later if you find this any worth moving on with. So, thank you very much.
Thank you. Thank you, Mikael.